from stories across the world to stories here at home. This is the National News Podcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nitya Sarakchandra.
And I'm Tilina Udayaratna. First off, we start off with a look at tonight's top stories. Another woman admitted to the hospital on the suspicion of contracting the new coronavirus. Yet another group of students arrived to the country from China. The government requests the public not to inflict an unnecessary fear over the new coronavirus. An antibiotic from China for the coronavirus. The Prime Minister reassures that the country's resources would not be sold to foreign nationals. Well, on your top local story this evening, 8 individuals suspected to have contracted the new coronavirus have been receiving treatment at the Infectious Diseases Hospital in Anguda thus far. Dr. Sudat Samaravira of the Epidemiology Unit said that a Chinese female admitted to the IDH has been tested positive for the new coronavirus yesterday. Meanwhile, steps have been taken to transfer a Sri Lankan female suspected to be contracted with the virus to the IDH this evening. A Chinese national who was on vacation in Sri Lanka has been contracted with the virus. The woman was admitted to the IDH after she was suffering from fever when reaching the airport to leave the country. However, reports have indicated that the others who were with her in the tour have already left the country. Specialist Dr. Anil Jasinghe said that according to the tests carried out by the Colombo Medical Research Institute, the woman was tested positive for the new coronavirus. However, he said that another sample will be sent abroad to test on the genetic nature of the virus. He said that the authorities have identified the hotels and resorts which have provided accommodation for the group of tourists. He added that the health authorities have reached these sites and provided necessary instructions, possibly have contacted with them. This virus is not a highly lethal virus. He said that necessary steps have been taken by the government and the relevant authorities to prevent the spread of the virus as much as possible. Dr. Sudat Samaravira of the Epidemiology Unit said that the Chinese national will continue to receive treatment until she recovers from the virus. Meanwhile, a group of Sri Lankan students in China have returned to the country today. More than 100 students were belonging to this group. 204 students have returned to the country thus far. Another 176 students are expected to return to the country tonight. The students have said that they were able to return to the country after they purchased the air tickets at concessionary price rates provided with the mediation of the government. The students have already returned to their homes while necessary instructions have been given to them to rest properly. Dr. Sudat Samaravira said that a post-inquiry will be made on these students. Acting Ambassador of Sri Lankan Embassy in Beijing, K.K. Yoganathan, has said that necessary measures will be taken to send back the students to Sri Lanka after lifting the travel ban imposed by the Chinese authorities in Wuhan.
Currently in China, we are kindly requesting them, if they want to go back to Sri Lanka, kindly contact the embassy. We are ready to provide all the facilities and assistance for them to depart for Sri Lanka. Sri Lankans who are currently staying in Wuhan, we know that there are 33 Sri Lankans, students and their family members. We are looking after their welfare. We are in touch with the local government authorities as well as the local government officials. We have talked to them and we have informed them to provide all the facilities and assistance necessary to our students. I am in discussion with the government of China to repatriate them to Sri Lanka. We have submitted an application to the Chinese government to give us approval to evacuate them by bringing the Sri Lankan special aircraft. Our request is being considered, not only us, I understand various other countries also have requested the government of China to allow them to repatriate their citizens to their country. We have advised our students in Wuhan to strictly follow the health measures. All of them are in very good health condition. We are constantly in touch with them.
Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi, in a press briefing held in Colombo today, said that all students arriving from Wuhan will be screened.
විශේෂයෙන් වූහාන් ප්‍රාන්තයේ සිට පැමිණෙන ශිෂ්‍යයන් අපි වෙනමම සති දෙකක් යනතුරු දියතලාව හමුදා කඳවුරේ එන වෙන්වුන් වූ කාමරවලට එය යොමු කරනවා.
A special terminal has been initiated for the Chinese nationals arriving into the country. All passengers are subject to a thermal scanning test. Meanwhile, Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi, along with the members of the National Action Committee appointed to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus, engaged in a sudden observational tour at the Bandaranaike International Airport last night. They observed the scanning and other precautionary measures undertaken by the authorities and the activities of the Health Division of the BIA in this regard. The Airport and Aviation Services Authority have taken a decision to prohibit all visitors other than passengers from entering the airport premises. Accordingly, visitors will have to obtain a ticket for a fee to enter into the airport premises. Issuance of visa for the Chinese nationals at the BIA has been temporarily suspended. Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi said that the Chinese nationals obtain their visa upon their arrival to the country by filling in an application online at the airport itself. However, the President has issued necessary instructions to put a halt to these proceedings. She said that this has also been directed to the Controller of Immigration and Emigration. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan Embassy in China has informed the citizens in Hubei province and other affected areas to refrain from travelling to Sri Lanka. "12 main hospitals will be prepared covering all provinces in the country to face the coronavirus. According to the Health Ministry and IDH, North Colombo, Gampaha, Kurunagala, Karapitiya, Badulla, Batiklo, Ratnapura, Jaffna, Anuradhapura, Negombo, Mullaitivu, Kandy and Waddu hospitals have been prepared with special facilities."
Now, more than 100 people in China have died from the new coronavirus, while close to 5,000 people have contracted the disease. The World Health Organization has said that necessary assistance set to be provided to China and other affected countries. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has taken measures to control the arrival of the Chinese nationals into their territory with the objective to prevent the spread of the virus. Authorities in China have taken steps to further tighten the security measures in Wuhan city, where the new coronavirus was discovered. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang engaged in an observation tour in the lockdown city of Wuhan to check on the affected residents yesterday. During the visit, he gave the necessary instructions for the prevention and control of the virus. More than 1,000 health sector workers have been deployed for the treatment of the rapidly escalating patients and other necessary services. In footage that surfaced, a doctor can be seen collapsing onto the ground after being engaged in services for over 36 hours continuously. Meanwhile, authorities in Beijing confirmed the first fatality in the Chinese capital from the virus yesterday. The Chinese authorities have also taken measures to ban the sale of meat taking place in all markets and restaurants with the objective to control the spread of the virus. A medical laboratory has also been constructed in Wuhan area to provide necessary treatment for the rapidly escalating number of patients. New footage surfaced with chants of solidarity can be heard echoing across Wuhan city. At the epicenter of the new coronavirus, as 11 million residents came together to uplift themselves amid the prevailing situations. President of China Xi Jinping has emphasized President of China Xi Jinping has emphasized that the public should continue to place their trust on him over the control of the spread of the new virus. The World Health Organization has said that the organization is working in close collaboration with China and other countries for the prevention of the spread of the virus. His Holiness Pope Francis has praised the dedication of China to control the spread of the virus. Now, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that as a policy, the government will not sell any of the resources in the country to foreign nationals. The Prime Minister made these remarks while taking part in a ceremony held at the Custom Headquarters Auditorium. The ceremony was organized to celebrate the International Customs Day. Ministers Vimal Veeravansa and Johnston Fernando, State Minister Shehan Semasinghe and Secretary to the Ministry of Finance S.R. Artigala were present at the occasion. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that the efficiency of the services provided by the Customs Department should be further improved. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa pledged to avoid the recurrence of all incidents that occurred in the ministries in the past. He said that the government has placed its trust on the institutions. He said that the institutions have the responsibility to improve the efficiency of the rendered services. He said that many items enter into the country without any taxes imposed. The Premier said that the country's revenue can be further improved if necessary measures taken to prevent such practices. He also added that the development process of the country is initiated and continued upon the revenue earned through the institution. The Prime Minister said that 57% of the revenue earned through the institution has been utilized for the development process of the country, and the funds would not be used to promote a concept on the sale of the country's resources. He also said that the previous government took measures to sell the country's resources which were built up by his government. As a policy, he said that the government will not sell any of the resources in the country to foreign nationals.
Health Services authorities have taken steps to control the spread of the coronavirus in Sri Lanka in accordance to international standards. The government has pointed out that an unnecessary fear should not be spread within society in this regard. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has made these remarks during a special discussion with relevant authorities. The Prime Minister extended his appreciation for the precautionary measures which have been taken to manage the challenges posed by the spread of the disease. He requested the media and social media to be responsible when reporting in this regard. Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi briefed on the steps taken by the health authorities to screen and identify coronavirus contracted passengers at the airport and the precautionary measures taken by the health authorities across the country. It was revealed that the Chinese national who was confirmed to have contracted the virus is currently being treated and is recovering accordingly. The Prime Minister also appreciated the government of China for the support and facilities provided to the Sri Lankan citizens and students to return to Sri Lanka. A discussion was held regarding the welfare of the students in lockdown Wuhan city. 50% discounts have been provided by the Sri Lankan Airlines for the airfares in order to allow Sri Lankans in China to return to the country. It was revealed that the Air China and China Eastern Airlines have also agreed to provide a 50% discount on the airfares during the meeting. A decision has been reached to conduct a debate on the forensic audit report on the issuance of the central bank bond scam at the Parliament. The decision was taken by the committee when a meeting was held at the parliamentary proceedings held today under the patronage of Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. The debate is set to take place on the 18th and 19th of February. According to a request made by the opposition, the government agreed to allocate 2 days for the debate. Even though the MPs requested to provide the Sinhala and Tamil drafts of the report, the Speaker has said that providing these copies in the requested languages is quite a difficult task at present. Accordingly, the MPs have requested to provide the photocopies of the report, which has been presented in a CD. Leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, Chief Whip of the House, Minister Johnston Fernando, Leader of the Opposition Sajid Premadasa, and ministers and parliamentarians of the government and the opposition were present at this meeting.
High Commissioner of India to Colombo, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, says that India's aspiration is to witness Sri Lanka as a robust and strong nation. He pointed out that India will always remain alongside with Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, a special ceremony to bid farewell to the outgoing High Commissioner of India to Colombo, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, was held in Colombo yesterday. The function was organised by the staff of the Indian High Commission, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga and many other dignitaries were present at the occasion.
I have spent 7 years in Sri Lanka, perhaps the longest compared to any other diplomat. And I actually learnt a lot from Sri Lanka. What I am here today, Sri Lanka has a considerable part in it. So wherever I go, whether I succeed or fail, you will have a role in that, remember. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, I do want to wish him the very best. There are very, very high expectations. He has the passion. And India, across the board here, wants to ensure that Sri Lanka hail, hearty and a robust and a successful country. In India, we have a huge market. We have such a huge market that internally we can't take care of it. All of you read that in the coming future, one market which will keep the development and the economies of the world going is the Indian market. So the assurance is that we have no eyes on Sri Lankan market, because if we can't fulfill our own, why would we come all the way to Sri Lanka? So this is a partnership. What my dream is to connect our economies. Since the world around is looking into the Indian market, as we get connected, Sri Lanka should get connected along with us. Both countries gain, but in particular, Sri Lanka too gains. Come what may, come rain, come sunshine, we have a historical link, we have a cultural link, we have an economic link, and we have a link of blood. India will always be with you, and as far as I am concerned, these 7 years have meant so much to me. Sri Lanka is my second home.
Well, outgoing High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, has been appointed as India's ambassador to the USA. According to a statement issued by the Indian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he is set to replace the present India's envoy to the USA, Harsh Vardhan Shringla. Ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, a career diplomat with more than 30 years of experience with 2 earlier stints in the Indian mission in Washington, was named as the new Indian envoy to the USA today. He served in the Indian mission in Washington, D.C. as the first secretary to the political wing and the deputy chief of the mission on his earlier stints. He has also been at the permanent mission of India to the United Nations for a 4-year period from 2005. Ambassador Sandhu started his diplomatic career in Russia and continued to work in many missions across the world, including the United Nations, and held many positions in the Indian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. According to foreign reports, after assuming his position as the new Indian envoy to the US, the ambassador is said to be given the tasks of coordinating the expected visit of the US President to India and guiding the talks for a new trade deal between the two countries.
Now, in the meantime, Chairman of the Colombo District Coordination Committee, Parliamentarian Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, says that swift measures will be taken to amend the policies and regulations which have hindered the protection of public health. These remarks were shared during the first Colombo District Coordination Committee held for this year today. Discussions were held regarding several development projects, including Sapiri Gamak project launched this year and rural infrastructure facility projects at the coordination meeting. Progress and pertaining issues related to the projects initiated at present were reviewed during the meeting. It was revealed during the meeting that many projects initiated during the previous year had been abandoned midway due to contractors after necessary payments had not been made. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that a massive shortage of funds has occurred in all divisional secretariat divisions under the projects Gamanaguma and Gamperelia. He said that many contractors have obtained loans and are in a critical condition without being able to make necessary payments while being blacklisted by financial institutes. He said that the Prime Minister has directed a separate attention on this regard. He said that this issue will be resolved through upcoming budget. Parliamentarian Wijayadasa Rajapaksa said that the relevant institutions which should provide an active contribution to ensure public health have failed to extend a satisfactory service to the public. Consequently, the Food Act set to be amended accordingly, while a systematic mechanism to be composed jointly by the relevant institutions.
Remarks were shared regarding the government's program at a media conference held today. State Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara said that the cabinet approval has been granted for strategic programs of the government. A massive program is set to be implemented to further strengthen the economy of the country. Many steps have been taken to provide relief for the next 25 years and to increase investment in the country. He said that under the UNP government, the country was in the 99th position of the Ease of Doing Business Index. However, the current government has taken measures to climb this up by the index and reach the 40th position at the end of the tenure. The country is set to be politically stable in the next 5 years, with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa strengthening the economy of the country.
Now, Director General for South Asia of Global Affairs Canada, Ambassador David Hartman, has reiterated the strong desire of Canada to move the bilateral relationship forward with Sri Lanka to capitalize on the positive trajectory of Sri Lanka's relationship with Canada. During a bilateral visit to Sri Lanka, the Canadian ambassador engaged in a discussion with Foreign Secretary Ravinath Ariyasinghe yesterday. The two sides agreed to work towards the early finalization of the MOU on bilateral consultations, which will provide a mechanism for the structured dialogue on bilateral partnership and will also facilitate regular consultation. While acknowledging the long-term Canadian development and other assistance programs and initiatives, Foreign Secretary Ariyasinghe emphasized the necessity to improve economic cooperation with Canada with regards to trade and investment. Agriculture and vocational training and skills development were also identified as possible areas for further cooperation. Accordingly, Canada and Sri Lanka have agreed to further intensify the bilateral partnership by building upon the ongoing cooperation as well as broadening the scope of engagement between the two countries. Discussions also focused on reconciliation, the possible contribution of multi-ethnic Sri Lankan expatriate community in Canada for the developmental initiatives and initiatives relating to Foreign Relations Ministry's economic diplomacy program.
The Court of Appeal has ordered to postpone the hearing of the complaint made against 4 individuals, including former Chief Minister of the Northern Province C.V. Vigneshwaran, until the 18th of May. The case was filed against them on the charges of contempt of court. The case was taken up for hearing today before a judge bench that consists of appeal court judges Mahinda Samayavardhana and Priyantha Fernando. The hearing of the court case will be held on the 18th, 19th and 20th of May. The complaint was presented by former Northern Provincial Minister Dineshwaran. The former Northern Provincial Minister has indicated that the former Chief Minister rejected the order issued by the Court of Appeal to reinstate him in the provincial ministerial post. Therefore, the complaint has been made charging that the Chief Minister has committed contempt of court.
Now, with a view of popularizing digital payment schemes, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has named the year 2020 as the Digital Transaction Year. The main objective of the initiative is to popularize the digital transactions currently being in usage in the country. Speaking to the national television regarding the new initiative, Director of Payments and Settlements Department of Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dharmasiri Kumaratunga, made these remarks.
The main objective of this initiative is to popularize the digital transaction. The main objective of this initiative is to popularize the digital transaction already introduced to the country by central bank, banks and the financial institution and Lanka Clear Private Limited. So this initiative will teach and enable you to make your daily payment, especially utility bills such as telephone, electricity, water bills and other insurance premium and all other payments, as well as transfer your money between the account to account, so can make it through these instruments. So our aim is to encourage the public to use these secure digital transactions method which have already been introduced by banks and other financial institutions. Since more than 23 million paying card, the debit card already issued in Sri Lanka, so we encourage for the public to use this debit card. Generally we consider paying card, so this requires a merchant having the POS machines. So however, POS machines are relatively expensive in Sri Lanka compared to other countries. To address this issue, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka introduced a Lanka QR in 2018 October. So this aims to encourage small businesses to transit digitally. So QR code based payments do not require any particular machines. So, and the payment can be made by card directly from your bank via the printed QR code. So this brings down the cost substantially. So therefore we invite small business to join QR code based payments method. So you can get more information from your bank. So how to make this payment. So QR code based payments enable unbanked population of the country to be include the financial inclusion system. So and government agencies can join this system. The government is also, we are seeking from the government to help this assistance from the central bank and other financial institutions also. We are getting help from the other institution to make this payment system. The central bank has already held a discussion with the banks and other institutions to implement various programs. So during the digital year 2020. Separately, the first 2 months of the year 2020, so we'll be especially aimed at educating employees of financial institutions. So therefore, merchants and consumers will be educated on the use of digital payments and encouraged to adopt the digital payments during this year. The main objective of 2020 digital transaction year are educating the public about the digital payments and to encourage large number of consumers in digital transactions, and also building a society that uses less cash, thereby uplifting the economic activities of the country to improving the financial inclusion of the country. So in order to achieve these objectives of the central bank, so we need the support of the government and all the financial institutions of the country.
Remarks were shared by the United National Party regarding the new coronavirus during a few media briefings held today. Parliamentarian Harshana Rajakarna said that the process to bring down Sri Lankans from China should be carried out in a responsible manner. Sri Lankans arriving from China should be kept in a separate camp and screened to determine their condition. MP Professor Ashu Marasinghe said that necessary treatment should be given and provided after identifying the disease. A biosafety level 4 category lab should be established in the country for this disease. A lab which was built in 1990 by JICA is not in the functional order since 2001. These issues need to be resolved at the earliest convenience. All should gather to resolve the pertaining situation in the country. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's national news broadcast. Make sure to join us tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.